What's going on, guys? It is Good Friday. I usually do my videos on Saturday, but we have Easter coming up this weekend, and I got some things going on with my grandpa. I got an interviewee for this session. He's a good friend of mine, and first off, please, if you like this video, like it, and please subscribe, man. As many subscribers as I can get. If I get 1,000 subscribers, I'll start going out and we can branch out and people can see. It'll start coming up on YouTube, you know. And I just want to get this out there. This ain't about me. This ain't about Taylor. This is about helping someone else, you know. So please subscribe if you like this, and even if you don't like it, please subscribe and never watch again, you know. But this is Taylor, and you know what's crazy about this one is if it wasn't for Taylor and a friend of mine, Michael Shelton, I would have never got clean because I've seen them doing real good. And believe it or not, they're both clean before me, and they happened to come by one time, and I was out at my grandma's out on the hill, and I believe there was a party going on, not like a crazy party, but my little cousin was having a party, and they stopped by and asked me if I wanted to go to a meeting. I started going to a meeting, and it wasn't that day directly, but after that, you know, I started going and got to Wayne with them. But without further ado, let's get into this. This is Taylor. Say hey, Taylor.
Hi, guys.
So I just want to ask you, you know, a couple of questions. You know, whenever your childhood, growing up, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Like you said, my name's Taylor. My childhood, honestly, now I didn't take good enough advantage of my childhood. It was probably the best way I could have been raised. I had loving parents. I mean, we were always out at the baseball field. I was raised really good. I was raised to be respectful. I was raised to have good grades, and I was raised, you know, to live to have a bright future. I didn't see it that way back then, but looking back now, I should have taken a lot better advantage of it than I did.
Absolutely. So what led you to start using, man? What was the first time you started using?
I first started using my freshman year of high school. I started with just alcohol, marijuana, like most people. Like up until that point, I had made honor roll. I think my last report card of 8th grade was all A's and 1 A minus. And
high school hit.
High school hit. I started drinking, chasing women, marijuana. My first report card of my freshman year was, I think I had 3 or 4 F's. It all went downhill so fast. From that point, I really didn't care. I kept on using marijuana, alcohol. Didn't see it as a problem back then. We were just in high school having fun. I don't think I tried anything harder than that until I was a senior. I tried methamphetamine, and that changed my life.
Absolutely. I remember one of the first times we met, we was at your brother's, and I remember telling you, I said, be easy. I just met you. I said, look, man, I've done been through it all, man. I got a DUI. I've been to rehab. I had to go down there down to Evansville, Deaconess Cross Point. I overdosed on Xanax. And it was kind of crazy because I remember, you know, you said, me too. Yeah, which, I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing, but I think God was like, hey, here you go, you know. And, you know, there was, after, you know, you say you started using methamphetamine when?
It's 2011.
In 2011?
Yeah. Yep. I started using then. I can't say why I started using it. I was using prescription drugs as well, Xanax, pain pills, basically anything I could do. And I remember using Xanax one night and waking up the next day, and I had a bag of meth, and I had no idea what it was. I'd asked the girl who was next to me that morning, what is this? And she said, that's meth. I said, well, I don't want no part of it. I ended up doing it. And it just kind of took off from there. I told a couple people, kind of kept it under wraps for probably about a year. But that's where it all kind of took off after that. I mean, I got arrested a few times. Like you said, DUIs, overdoses. They just kept happening. I don't know why they necessarily happened. I don't know why I started using. Because like I said, I had a good childhood. It was just, I don't know. I always just had that missing feeling. Yeah. I'm sure you can.
Well, that's why I like to ask that first question about the childhood, because some people probably associate it with, man, their childhood was so bad, but it doesn't matter about your childhood,
right.
you know. It's just, it can happen to anybody, man, you know, and it was like, I don't know if you remember the first time you used that. It was over, you know. Like for me, that's how it was anyways, you know. And, you know, the crazy thing about me and Taylor is I started manufacturing myself because I was tired of getting ripped off by all these people. And all of a sudden, you know, me and Taylor were like best friends, you know. And although it was hell, you know, we had some good times.
We had good times, yeah.
I remember there was times whenever Taylor was so sick, he'd come out. Actually, I'll just go to this. I remember when you came out and you're like, you were just down and you were about to leave, and I was like, where are you going? You're like, I don't know. I was like, well, like, where's your house? You know, and you're like, I ain't got no place to stay. I said, yeah, you do. You live here now, man. And, you know, you were real sick, and I ended up covering you up, and I ended up taking your car. Me and Dan, the cramper, went out to Walmart and got you some NyQuil and took care of you, you know. But, you know, that's the thing, you know, like God always provided me with, like you and my Uncle Bob and my Uncle Gary, you know, like, although we were sick people, man, we always, you know, it was, God put people like you in my life, you know, each of us, you know, because I think without it, you know, we both, you know, who knows what would have happened, you know. And then for me to get clean, you know, that really helped me, man, because you know how lost I was, you know, we was out there and, you know, we was talking about meth, but meth was terrible, but it got worse with the bath salt. Yeah. And I remember I had worked a job over at my Uncle Tom's, and I got money, and I kept on ordering off every website. I'd try to order bath salt, and it'd be some kind of chemical. And then finally I got this one chemical, and it was APHP, and I was getting so much of it to the mail that there was so much money. There was so much, but man, you know, I mean,
it came with a lot of
misery.
Misery, yeah.
And
there for a while there was a good run, but it just, with a lot of it, just became misery. I remember you'd call me at night and just say like, I don't know what to do. I can't do this anymore. And you know, I'd come down there when I could. Sometimes I'd be on house arrest for God knows what. But it was just misery. It's easy to remember the fun times, the good times that we had, because there was a lot of them, but there's still that misery that was always there too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, I did things that I never thought I would do, you know. My uncle was always on meth, and I said, I'll never do meth. And before you know it, I'm running around with him to buy pills to make money. I ain't gonna do that. And then you start smoking. Well, I'll never shoot up. And then it comes to shooting up, and with the bath salt, man, I personally went haywire on it. Yeah. Remember, you know, with the needle, and I shot up so much that I couldn't shoot up anywhere, you know, and there was times when he'd be holding a mirror and I'd be trying to hit myself, and I'd just snap and start breaking stuff, remember? I'd be like, it's not your fault! But I mean, it just drug me down, and, you know, I'm glad that you got out of it, you know, because honestly, man, you helped me a lot. You know, just seeing, I was like, damn, you know, BZ and Shelton, they look like they're having fun, you know what I mean? You guys ain't doing dope, you know what I mean? And
you don't think it's possible.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And, but, like, you know, one thing, you know, and we can say this together, that you must do to get clean is you got to change everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And there's one thing I took from my dad. He always said, time is money, which I still think is true to this day. I wouldn't admit it to him, but and he'd always tell me, "You are who you hang out with." And I still love a lot of people. I've lost a lot of people to addiction, but you have to love those people from afar, because at the end of the day, it's your sobriety, and you have to take it. If you want, Pete Haskins always told me, if you want it, you have to take it. So I think at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
That's the selfish part of it, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to say no to people, and you know, you just got to. I mean, at first, whenever I went to the Courage House, I remember like I was just ashamed, like, you know, I mean, I didn't want to go anywhere, I didn't want to see anybody, you know. So what actually led you to get clean? You know, I mean, when did you say enough is enough? Like, did you go into Lamb and it was like, well, let's just get out for a little bit, and then you found out it was cool and you liked it, or did?
I went to, I remember getting arrested for the whole burglary thing. Got arrested, went and did a couple years in county and in work release. Pete Haskins took me in to the Lamb House. Started learning a lot, did really good, but I kept relapsing. I'd get 3 months in, I'd relapse, 4 months relapse, 5 months. I just couldn't figure it out. And then at one point, I got kicked out of the house for coming home drunk. Pete was there. He was mad. He kicked me out, and I went totally off the chain. I was on house arrest, just left. I remember the last time I used. It was the most I'd ever used at one time. I should have died. I should have died, definitely. The next day, it was a Monday, house arrest was opening back up. I remember my little brother Tanner telling me, like, you need to make a choice, like either you're gonna be on the run or you need to go turn yourself into the Courage House. And I thought, you know, I better go do that. I probably should have died last night. I did. Like he said, I mean, I was ashamed, embarrassed. But after that day, I think I was just so thankful to be alive, honestly, that I just never wanted to use again. I don't know, something clicked. I remember praying just to have that want to be taken away from me, that want to get high. And it is. I don't want it. I don't crave it. I don't struggle with wanting to use anymore. The main thing I struggle with now is just life stuff, budgeting, anxiety, stress, just stuff like that. That's what I struggle with nowadays.
I mean, whenever you was using, you know, I just told the viewers about how you had no place. I said, you live with me. You know, since that day, what have you gained? What has been your most pride? What have you accomplished? Your greatest accomplishments since then?
My greatest accomplishments, you know, I have a job that I love. I bought a house in September.
A house?
Yeah, I own a house. You know, I've got my kids. We live a good life. I just got married in January in Jamaica. I mean, life's really good. I have nothing to complain about. Everything just falls into place. I'm a strong believer in you get what you put into the world, and if you do good, you try, you live your life. I mean, good things come your way.
Absolutely. But it don't happen overnight either, though.
No, there was a lot of days where I wanted to give up.
Mm-hmm.
The first year, I remember especially, was the hardest, to where there was a want to give up. But you have to stick with it. If you don't stick with it, you wind up in that cycle I did. You relapse after 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. It just stick through it. Once you stick through it and get through the tough parts, it gets a lot easier.
I think a lot of that, because my first 3 or 4 months, I was at the Courage House. Shelton got me to go to the Courage House. And of course, Shelton went to Lamb House. And to be in Lamb, you're in jail. you got to go to the jail. And I went to every meeting. I went to every meeting. I wanted to get him laying real bad, man. And because Beezy was there, Shelton was there, Jake was there, Conrad. Well, Conrad had just moved out. But man, you know, like it was cheaper on rent, but that wasn't it. You know what I mean? Like that's where I wanted to be. And then one day it just started snowing, and Shelton called me, and he's like, because I've been going to every Monday meeting they had at the work release. You know, Marsh had just taken over, and
Yeah.
I remember I said, "Hey, Marsh, can I come over?" She said, "There ain't no beds available." And I knew Conrad had just left. And I was so mad. Whenever I walked out, I don't know if you remember, I was cursing. I said, "Hey, you know, I'm done with it." And then the next day, Shep called me and said, "Hey, there's a lady on the phone. Be nice." And it was Marcia Bishop. And you guys had a house meeting.
We were having a house meeting right then.
Yeah. And what'd you all say?
Bring in TJ.
Yeah,
Bring him
in.
home. And
that was one of the greatest feelings ever, you know. I went to a small little room on the front porch, and I mean, it was awesome, you know what I mean? That was my own, it was like, I had my own room now. The small things, which seems like not much to some people, but whenever you have nothing, you know what I mean? I was looking out the garage, you know, it was awesome to start building that back up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From there, you're in a structured environment with friends who are clean, you know, and you got your accountability, you know, and I attribute a lot of my success to, you know what I mean, the steps, you know what I mean, Narcotics Anonymous, like, no matter if, you know what I mean, you're not writing them down, you know, if you work that, you can work them every day without even realizing it,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just, I don't know, doing the next right thing at all times, man, has always really paid off, you know?
That's one of the best things about you is you always want everybody to succeed. You're always going out of your way to make other people succeed. And I mean, it's things like that that keep a person going.
That's what I get high on, man. You know what I mean? It's what keeps me going, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, you got life on life's term, you know, Taylor was talking about how he stresses and he goes through anxiety, and, you know, I got some stuff going on with my grandparents right now. My grandpa's in the hospital, and Taylor talked to him last night, you know, and I love my grandparents very much, but, you know, that's whenever you reach out to someone, whenever you got stuff like that going on, because, like we said, you know, it's not always easy, especially in the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, it was important for me to go into a sober living house, to be around other people, you know. And then, you know, there was times when people be using, and, you know, I told on a couple people, you can call it snitching, you can call it whatever, but if you want that, you cannot be around that, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And, you know, I remember whenever I was at the Lamb House, we went through some stuff, and, you know, someone was, but you've got to want it, man. And, man, it's just a beautiful thing, you know. How many years ago was it when we was out in that garage? 2017, November 15, 2017 was the last time I ever did methamphetamine.
Mine was October 9th, 17.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was, I don't know. God, I hadn't been over there in years. I think probably 2015, right before I got arrested.
Yeah. I mean, I remember last couple of times I was there, you know, I was just crying, and my mom and my grandma came out there one time, and I just hugged my grandma, I was just bawling, you know, I was like, I don't know what to do, you know. But at the same time, I couldn't, like, the pipe was right there, and, you know, I had all the cabinets, and I couldn't walk far from that pipe because I had to constantly hit it, you know. And it just took finally just saying, you know, screw it all, let's go dry out, you know. So, you know, any advice to anyone out there right now that's watching?
Just keep going. I know it gets tough. I know it gets hard. You get comfortable after a few months. Just don't stop trying to stay clean. It's even whenever you don't realize you're in a battle, you are in a battle with it. Just stay strong, keep doing it. If you feel like you're gonna reach out, I mean, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to TJ. There's a long list of people you can reach out to.
The meetings, man.
Yeah.
The meetings. There's a schedule of meetings, man. If you need that schedule.
Every day there's a meeting.
Absolutely.
Every day.
You know, and they might seem small, you know, it might seem stupid to some people, but I loved them, you know. I started going, and at first I was just real quiet, but you can go to a meeting and you'll learn something every time, you know. You gotta be teachable. You know, the three most indispensable things in the readings, you know, is honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. If you ain't honest with yourself and you ain't willing to do things that you ain't, you know, and you ain't, you know, you got to be. It's hard to tell the world, especially I had someone get hold of me yesterday or 2 days ago that said, I want to get clean, but nobody knows I've been getting high. Well, you got to just tell them. And after it gets out, you're just going to have people hugging you, man, especially in the meetings, you know. And, you know, just reach out, man, you know. That's what we did. Look at us now, you know.
Just reach out to somebody. That's all you got to do.
Absolutely. Well, hey, guys, I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Taylor. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Until next time, man.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. I need a cameraman, too.